Another train operated by Norfolk Southern derailed Thursday morning, this time near Detroit. Officials say the train was carrying various hazardous chemicals, but none spilled. No one was hurt in the derailment, and the state's environmental agency said there's no threat to public safety. The incident comes 2 weeks after a train from that same company derailed in East Palestine, Ohio. Toxic material spilled into the Ohio River, and a controlled explosion sent hazardous chemicals into the air. Residents are now complaining of health issues like respiratory distress and headaches. Despite concerns, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine says there are no signs the air or water quality is unsafe.
So far, they've had no detection of contaminants, either outside or in the specific homes where they've been asked to monitor.
Erin Brockovich joins us now. She's an environmental and consumer advocate. Erin, we just heard from the Ohio governor. Do you think it's safe for East Palestine residents to return?
That's a great question to ask. Hi, Catherine. Thank you for having me on. I am sitting here right now that just kind of came across my desk, a letter from the United States EPA dated February 10th, 2023 to Norfolk Southern Railroad. And it concerns me here a little because at the end of the first paragraph, they talk about cars containing vinyl chloride, the butyl acrylate, which has an additive that's benzene, and 3 other chemicals. And they go on to say that these chemicals are either known to have been or continue to be released to the air, surface soils, and surface waters.
So wait one second. So the key word here is continue, and that this letter is dated February 10th. That doesn't seem to be syncing up with the public timeline that everything was okay.
I know, and that's what's concerning me. And it just came across to me via email, and I read the last sentence. Chemicals are known to have been or continue to be released to the air, surface soils, and surface waters. So to answer your question, is it safe? There is so much confusion and so much information. And then reading something like this, I would tell you, I would certainly feel uncomfortable and not safe.
Let's take a look at some video. It was shot by Senator J.D. Vance, and what appears to be sort of fluorescent sludge. Based on your decades of experience, what are we looking at?
You could be looking at VOCs in the water. You could also be looking at bacteria that are in the water that are coming out when the bottom is being disturbed, where everything settles. And I'm glad you're showing this because, again, so much misinformation seems to be getting out there. The train derailment happened on the 3rd, and they kind of sat around on the 4th and 5th, not certain what to do. But on the 6th, with the National Guard there and Norfolk being in charge and the government knowing that this was happening in the state of Ohio, they made a decision to dig a hole and take all the chemicals, the liquid chemicals from the rail cars and dump it into an unlined hole, hence why we're going to have a big water issue. And they lit it on fire.
Let me just jump in here. So what you're saying here is you think the early procedures may have contaminated the water table in Palestine.
Yes, because there is a governor's press release that was sent out on the 6th of February. And Norfolk, being in charge, chose to dig a hole, and they took the liquid hazardous materials from the train cars and dumped it down that hole. Now, that's just going to go straight to the aquifer. Then they lit it on fire, which created that huge black cloud that we've all seen. And what's concerning about that is because this is organic matter and carbon, and you've lit it on fire, you've created a dioxin problem that will fall out on roofs and soils and in the water. So it looks like a situation was mishandled on the upfront that created a worse scenario.
So let's talk about the process here. the process used by Norfolk. Have you ever seen this as a standard operating procedure in other derailments?
No, and I get a lot of emails coming in from different railroads, and they're very concerned about how operating procedures have changed, how maintenance has changed, how there's infrastructure issues not being addressed, and whether or not this was listed as class one. There's confusion that it was or wasn't. But how we're handling this type of chemical across the rail yards with cuts to maintenance, infrastructure issues is becoming a big concern to a lot of whistleblowers and employees that are reaching out.
Has the EPA been transparent about the initial testing data during a period when there may have been peak exposure?
Well, I'm going to question that now after what I just read about what was released and continues to be released. We have yet to see any raw, real data. I would like to see a website, a public website, because all the public should be informed about what it is they're testing for, what it is they may or may not have found, but none of us have been able to see or access that information. So that's a big source of frustration. And so in the absence of seeing that and discussing some of the things we have and what I just read, to send an all clear, it certainly is going to make this community more uneasy, and it certainly doesn't lend itself to this community trusting its government officials.
And just a short time ago, we've learned that FEMA is now going to be deploying federal resources. Is this going to be helpful, or is it coming a little late in the game?
Well, we're 2 weeks into this? By the time I get out there, we're pushing 3 weeks into this. So yeah, to answer your question, it could be late to the game. And again, another interesting conversation, because they said a few days ago they wouldn't be coming. But yes, these people's houses could be full of these contaminants on the roof, in furniture, in the soot throughout the house, in the dust, all of that. And I think that they need to have safer housing. So again, quite a contradictory message. It's safe, but FEMA's coming. Are they going to give them housing? If it's safe, why do they have to move out of their house? And I've never in my 30-year career seen a situation unfold in front of all of us with such mismanagement and misinformation. And the people who have been exposed and are in that community just seem to be a pawn in all of this. And it's just not okay.
So let's take that a step further. A pawn in what game? Between who?
I feel like they're not getting the information from agencies that they want to trust, and government agencies that tell us to trust them. They don't feel like they're getting straight answers. They're certainly not getting any answers from Norfolk. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just said that. Norfolk, oh my. And them coming to houses, making promises, asking them to sign agreements. So I feel like the people are all stuck up in a lot of politics, a lot of misinformation, and told to trust a source that might not, in fact, being fully transparent about what has happened to them and whether they are or aren't safe.
I want to be clear on the EPA data and this testing data. 2 weeks into a situation like this, would you expect to see this data public? And if it's not public, do you think it's being suppressed?
Well, in a situation like this, it should be public. I mean, they know the urgency of this. Even in the U.S. EPA letter to Norfolk, they're telling them this is an urgent situation. So we don't really have a lot of time to wait for what it is that they need to be doing. So I would expect to see it. But some of these things do take time. This chemical that was dropped in this hole, it will take time for it to migrate through the problem. We need to remediate. We need to monitor. We need to be prepared for it, because it won't just all hit at once. So I think it's imperative that the information come out quickly and publicly so this community can better protect itself, their health and welfare, their family, their land, and their water.
We just have a few seconds left. What does this derailment tell us about the national picture and the risk in other communities?
There's a much larger systemic problem here at hand, and we're going to have to talk about it. We have antiquated, aged out infrastructure. These train crashes are becoming more and more. We've all seen that. One in Michigan. There was one in Louisiana in November 2022 with hydrochloric acid. We're transporting hazardous materials across this country through these communities with antiquated, failed infrastructure. Maintenance cuts back. It's a systemic problem and one that we're going to have to address.
Erin Brockovich, thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.